G'day viewers and welcome to this week's PB's Retro Restorations. This week I'm doing this Corgi number 339 Mini Cooper S Monte Carlo edition that's been sent to me by viewer Ben, who's in Great Britain, Suffolk to be precise. He's asked me if I can restore it for him. I'm going to do my very best, and I'm also combining this with a fun Hot Wheels custom mini. So you're getting two cars for one this week, viewers. That's why it's a much longer video. But I hope you still enjoy it, hope you can stick with me and see it through to the end. Now, Ben's asked me if I can do a small custom paint on the interior, but other than that we're going to keep this one stock as a rock. So let's get crack-a-lackin' and see what we're dealing with and see if we can't make it look wonderful again. Okay, so here's Ben's unrestored and my restored mini. Now when I put these next to each other, I started noticing little differences, like the badges on the front are different. And then I started noticing other things, like the height of the windscreens on the back, the license plates, and as you can see from me holding it here, Ben's is just that much bigger. I don't know about the base, but the bodies are completely different castings. There's so many differences between them. The bumpers are different. The wheel arch openings are bigger on Ben's. It might explain why the reproduction roof rack I got doesn't fit, because I'm sure that they make them for one car, the reproductions, may not be aware that there's two different versions of it. Having an original unrestored also highlighted how inaccurate some of the reproduction decals are, especially the license plate, so I'm going to make my own. But anyway, let's keep moving, and I'll try and show you some of the other differences later on in the video. So I can't lie to you viewers, it's a bit of a white knuckle thrill ride trying to drill this apart and not breaking that roof rack. I had to pull this apart to get the roof rack off. The roof rack's held on by the wheels. The wheels won't come off until you pull it apart and get to them from inside. You can't get them from inside until you take the stone tray and the bottom screws off. So I managed to do it. It's such a delicate piece, this roof rack. Last thing I wanted to do was wreck it. Lord knows how ordinary the reproductions are. Okay, so I'm not going to remove the wheels from this base. It's got the metal bar suspension, which is an absolute pain in the butt. So I'll just mask the wheels off when I paint it. Here's the interior. Massive amount of flash on that steering wheel, which I'll clean up. And here's the interior details. A little pickaxe, a shovel and a rope that Ben would like me to detail. Alright, now here's another one of the details. On my Mini, the two spare tyres are held in with split pins, and that also held the window in. On this one, the window just came out and those spare wheels are riveted in there, which means I'm going to have to drill them out too, which is again going to be a challenge because I don't want to damage that roof rack. I did note it already has one little crack at the front, which I don't know if that happened in transit or if it's always been like that. I don't think I did it, but I'm going to repair it and we'll make it look like it never happened. Okay, so gently, the roof rack clips over the sides a little bit, but it's mainly secured by the four posts that go through and of course held on by the tyres. So it does have a small crack in it. I'm going to repair that. I don't know when that's happened, if it was always like that. I hope I didn't do it. Now I'm going to just pop out the jeweled headlights, and I'm sure they'll come out better than mine because I won't have to remake the buckets for them, so that'll be good. So with the headlights out, we are stripped and ready for paint stripping. Okay, so now I'm starting on the bonus build. This is a Hot Wheels Mini Cooper, more of a modern interpretation. It's got a air intake or whatever it is coming through the bonnet. It's got Beatles George Harrison printed on the side of it. Came from my bucket of cars. So I'm sanding down the intake because I want to fill in that hole, and I figured if I sand this down far enough I can use it as a base for my filling putty, which was a challenge in itself. Anyway, back to the Mini Cooper, or the other Mini Cooper. They're both Mini Coopers. Well, an idiot. Cleaning it up, polishing it up. I went wire wheel, Scotch-Brite pad, wire wheeled it a bit more and Scotch-Brite it again. So it looked nice and it's ready for its new paint. Now the casting had some defects in the rear bumper. I don't know if it was from playware or it was just some casting marks. The right hand taillight had some too. I didn't completely get rid of them because it's part of the model really, but I did neaten them up. Little hook, got the last little bits of paint out of the grille and the headlight buckets because we want them to go in smoothly. We don't want a repeat of my Mini, do we? So this is me just finoodling the posts, trying it, pulling apart, finoodling it, making sure the base sits on as it should before I tap and thread the holes. Okay, so masking off the wheels. They're in really good condition. Well, they were in good condition once I'd cleaned them. So this stopped them getting red, obviously, and it's while taping them isn't exactly pain-free. It's much more pain-free than removing them and trying to put that suspension back together. So that's the base ready to go for paint. I'll finish tapping the body, getting some screws in so they don't get filled up with crap, and we'll get some paint on that. Okay, so I tipped out my little bottle of jeweled headlights. No, I hadn't lost yours, Ben. I still had yours all safely secured in a little container. These ones are for my, well, I might as well say it, my mini Hot Wheels Corgi crossover vehicle. I ground off those stupid bolted on looking headlight covers and then I drilled them a bit and had some finoodling. I'm putting jeweled headlights in it. Make it look like a mini Corgi. Hopefully. We'll see. So pulled the base out and it's got the grill here. I thought, okay, I'll just mask that off, freehand some holes. I've got good eyesight. Not. That's where I'll drill the holes for the spotlights. But in typical PB fashion, I completely destroyed it. The holes looked awful, so I got some tape with some graph on it. And I got some... I cut the one off the base because I destroyed it and I made a new one. Well, what a massive pain that was. But anyway, it would have looked ordinary otherwise. So this is some, what do they call it? Train siding. It's actually got grooves in this plastic styrene sheet. So it looks like a grill. I had 5 million goes at lining those holes up, but I think I got it in the end. Now is the first coat of red paint for the base and the body. I put several coats on. I also put some clear coats on it over the decals once I got that done. But I'm not going to bore you with all that, I'll just bore you once. Now Ben did provide a replacement windscreen for this car, but looking at it and looking at the body shape, when I got the original out and compared it to the new one, there's no way they were the same. So the original one wasn't so bad. I've given it a clean, I gave it a polish, I did the floor polish, and I think it came up great. Now I'm working on the roof rack for the Hot Wheels Mini. I love doing this, working with the styrene. I know, it's very relaxing. So, bit of tape, and I just lay down strips of it after I've measured how far and wide I want it to go. And when it's done, I just pull out each every other one, and go from there. So shout out to KC down at Metal Mania in Tasmania once again for these little mini light rubber wheels he sent me. They're awesome. What else? What other kind of wheel would fit on a mini but a nice set of mini lights? So I'm gonna have to change the colour from orange, but that's that's easy. So after stripping the chrome, cleaning it and mending that small split in it and giving the roof racks a base coat of gloss black, my recreation and the original are both getting it, and then I'll go over the top of them with Molotow chrome. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's me polishing up that original windscreen. Came out good. I was extra careful washing it and polishing it because you all remember what happened with my other one. I washed it in water I didn't think was very hot and I completely crazed it and destroyed it and had to order another one, so we didn't want that happening. Now have a look at how good this comes out with some Molotow air spray on it. It looks magic. Looks like it did in the 60s, I imagine. So here's my wheels, courtesy of KC. Sprayed them black, gave them a spray of silver, not chrome. I wanted them to look like alloys. So, and this one, viewers, is a roller, 110%, which is good. Now in Ben's letter, he said he thought he might like the interior black. And I agree, it's going to make it easier to make those details in the back stand out, but I thought I'd keep the front half red just like a contrast between the black storage, So I've masked off the rest of it. I'm going to prime that, spray it black, and then I'm going to work on the fine details. And we'll pull off this tape, we'll see if we've managed to keep those wheels looking good. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, don't they look wonderful? Of course they do. Okay, so here I am doing my favourite part, not painting the silver details on. This is just flat aluminium paint. We don't want it chrome silver because the original's not chrome silver. And I think I did a pretty good job. Ben, when you've got it in your hands, you'll have to let me know what you really think about it, or be polite, I don't know. But I think I did a pretty neat job. Okay, unmasking the Hot Wheels. Okay, spoiler alert. It came out good. Ta-da! Boom. So I took photos of Ben's with its original license plates on it, and using Paint 3D, I just fixed the blemishes in them, printed my own. Much more accurate. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But here I am putting my reproduction. Basically, I scanned the decal sheet that came with the minis and shrunk it and made the ones for the Hot Wheels Mini. It's not rocket science, it's pretty straightforward. Here's what I'm talking about with the decals. The top little square with the F and the R, they're the repros. The ones underneath are what the originals look like. As you can see, the font, the style, the sizing of them, completely incorrect. Good quality decals, really good quality. But as far as being historically accurate to the original toy, no. So, now we'll get onto the decals on Ben's. Okay, so now I'm working on the interior, using my 1mm Molotow to put a chrome handle on the shovel and the pickaxe head. Then I'll use some brown paint for the rope. Or did I use this for the handle? No, I used it for the handle of the pickaxe, and I used another colour for the rope. And then I went with some black wash. The black wash worked pretty well, not quite as well as I would normally like it. But I was happy with the end result, and I hope you are too, Ben. I hope this is what you had in mind for your custom interior. Okay, time to put the Hot Wheels one back together. You can see I decided to change the lime green interior. Just sprayed it black. I didn't do any fine detailing on it because Lord knows you can hardly see anything once it's together anyway with these small scale cars. Yeah, looking good. Check those wheels. I sprayed the base black too. Now I used white glue to put the jeweled headlights in, and I used super glue to stick the roof rack on. I initially tried using white glue for that as well, but it just wasn't going to have it, so trial and error, trial and error. Okay, now I'm replacing Ben's jeweled headlights. Now, something you'll probably notice is that the two main ones are one colour and the four spotlights are another colour, so you can't get them wrong, get them in the wrong place, because I don't know that the holes are too much of a difference in size, so that's good. They all went in. I didn't lose any of them, which will make you happy, Ben, I'm sure. And it's really starting to come together. Okay, now we're ready to put Ben's back together. I've trimmed up that flash. I've got a fresh set of tread for the car itself. A couple of the ones I took off were gummy and, 50-year-old rubber. The two that I used on the roof rack are the ones that came off it. So they're originals, but they're in very good condition, so I reused them. Together, what have I forgotten? That's right, I almost forgot to put the little mud flaps on the front with the license plate, but I remembered before it was too late. So polishing up the stone tray is the final piece in the puzzle, the last thing that needs to go on. When I tried to put it back on the car, it wouldn't quite snap into place. So I noticed it had a bit of a bend in it. So I knocked the bend out of it, polished it up some more, and I secured it on with a little drop of glue. I couldn't use a screw on it because it sits very low to the ground. If I'd used a cap screw, it'd probably rub on the ground when you were playing with it on the carpet or the kitchen floor, Ben. So it's just held on with a bit of glue like mine. And like that, we're done. So here we are, back at the start with Ben's well-loved and incredibly original and complete Corgi Mini Cooper Monte Carlo. I did ask Ben if he was sure he wanted it restored because I didn't want to lose any of its patina and originality, but Ben wants it restored, so what the customer wants, the customer gets. And speaking of what he's getting, here it is! It's looking $1 million again now. Everything's been refurbished on this car. A little bit of a custom treatment to the load in the back. I hope you like it, Ben. And can I just say, I was really touched that you had the confidence to entrust this restoration to me. I don't consider myself the greatest on the planet. There's some amazing work out there. So thank you for entrusting it to me. I hope you're happy with it. And hopefully when it gets back to you, hopefully it gets there in one piece and it's everything you hoped it was going to be. And here's my Corgi X Hot Wheels crossover. This was a bit of fun. I know, it's a bit of fun. It's got the spirit of the original Corgi. It doesn't quite look the same, of course. But I hope you like this one too. This was a bit of fun. It's like a modern take, I guess. We'll call it a modern take on the Corgi original. I realised afterwards that the body is a little bit skew-if on it, so I just need to tweak it a little bit. But I hope you still like this one. I had a lot of fun doing it. So here's some still shots for you to pause on your device or your telly or however you choose to watch PBs. You can see my dodgy headlights. Every time I look at these two I see more differences, so see how many you can pick. And here's my reproduction and my restoration. Both looking good. I'm really pleased with both of them. So don't forget, final dibs build of the years for this weekend. I'm in all sorts of trouble, but that's what I do. I'll get there, I promise. Ho ho ho. T-shirts still available. Might be able to get them to you for Christmas, but don't forget, they're not just for Christmas, they're for life. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this extra long episode. Thank you to all my regular subscribers. If you're new here, this is your first time, I'd love it if you could give me a like and even consider subscribing. If you decide later you don't like it and it is all rot, you can always unsubscribe. But I really appreciate your support. I have a new video out every Friday at 9:15. It's getting a bit trickier for me these days, but I will try and keep it up. Thank you everybody for your continued support, especially last week's video has gone ballistic. I really appreciate it. Thank you everybody. Stay safe. I'll see you next week. Bye.